Hello, the purpose of this short video today is to introduce principals and school teams in Guilford County Schools to the FAMS. The FAMS is the Facilitated Assessment of MTSS School Level, and the purpose of this rubric-based tool is to measure your school level progress towards implementation of multi-tiered supports for all students. And really that is your academic, behavior, and social emotional supports that you provide to every student every day. Next week, your school team, your ILT, is going to have a chance to engage and work with this tool in a facilitated session. And we just wanted to give you a few tips on how to be prepared for that day. You can see here that we have some few instructions on the FAMS. So this is actually the cover page to the entire tool. If you use this short bit.ly link, bit.ly/FAMS, that will take you to a supporting website that we'll visit at the end of this video. And the cover page basically outlines some rationale for the FAMS and history of how it was developed. So it's a validated tool. It's gone through many national validations and then 2 validations in North Carolina. And the tool is 41 items that are set up in rubric fashion. You'll see here these bottom 2 sections on the recommended use and administration guidelines will be important to get your teams ready. We will be working with the FAMS in a facilitated administration setting. That means someone external to your school team will help guide some discussion. And then under the administration guidelines, you can see that it'll take about an hour and a half or 2 hours to have this discussion. Each of your team members will have a copy of the actual rubric, and then we'll review each of those descriptors and provide a response or a consensus rating. So one of the things that we'll ask you to do is become familiar with the tool ahead of time and do some self-reflection, each team member, if there's the chance, to help the discussion go more quickly. You can see that here what will happen during the facilitated administration is we'll review each of those 41 items and guide your school team to come to a consensus rating for each item. And then what will happen sort of after that is some district staff and some DPI staff will be doing some scoring for you and giving you some information back about the tool. And that information will be used in the future for you for school planning, but also so we can make some links to you for school improvement planning in NC STAR. So how can you prepare for this? So what you're looking at now is just one of the 41 items. So the way the rubric is set up is that there is one item on each page of the PDF document. So here you're looking at item number 9. And what we would ask is that you independently go in and your team members independently go in, review each item ahead of the time. So I would read item 9 and I would read across this rubric and I would decide where I think we are as a school and just make a little note of which column I feel like we are as a school. Some of the things you'll see on the page that will help you unpack each item are any terms that are in bold are explained below in the related notes. So what do we mean by database problem solving? What do we mean by professional development and coaching are defined. And so hopefully that will allow for some common language. And then this bottom box of examples of supporting evidence. So this is places you might already find some of this work happening in your school building. So if you already have PLC agendas or professional development calendar, anything else specific to job coaching or responsibilities, staff handbook, that may be where you see evidence of this particular item. So again, the recommendation would be that you review all of the items ahead of time and give a rating. There is a page at the end, so this is the final page of the FAMS. If you wanted to print that out, and you could just kind of record your own thoughts here for each of those items. And then what will happen when the team comes together is we'll review each item, and for items that you and your team have a pretty consistent scoring idea, you think you fall in the same place on the rubric, you'll move through those items pretty quickly, but there will be some items that you will stop and have some discussion about. So just take a quick look here at the website. So if you go to that bit link, it's going to take you to the FAMS website. Here's another overview video if you're interested, but this one covered most everything. Overview, history, administration guidelines. But here with this link, you can find the actual document of the FAMS. So it's attached to the message you're receiving this video in as a PDF, or you can go and download it yourself. So here you see that cover page we looked at, and then each of the 41 items on its own page. And then at the very end of the document, we'll see that scoring page will pop up. So ahead of our work together next week, we would recommend that you go ahead and send the PDF of the FAMS to any of your school team members, your ILT members who will be there that day to do that personal reflection. They certainly can bring that completed rubric with them or just bring that rating score, but to make our conversations be as efficient as possible, if everyone has a chance to read and review the FAMS and give their personal reflection ahead of time, our time together on April 9th and 10th will be most efficiently used.